GOATs, social media influencers, and just flat out great people with amazing stories. So tap in with us every Friday at 11 a.m. to get yourself some free game. Let's get it. What's good, y'all, and welcome to another edition of the Free Game Podcast, where we give you free game for this game called life. I am your host, CJ Moss, and today we are talking all things basketball. But joining me to talk about that topic is my guy, my little brother. Some know him as coach, some know him as mentor, some know him as a shooting coach, some know him from that dude that played basketball at that D1 college. I call him big brother, little brother, Michael Underwood. What's good, big dog? You straight, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
How you feeling, bro?
Blessed.
Now, give me a second, bro. Give me a second, bro, because I got to post this on Facebook right quick. We posted on Facebook. Now, tell us, big dog, how you feeling, bro?
Good. I'm actually really happy to be here.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
We just were talking about before the mics cut on 2 years ago. I think it was about 2 years ago?
Just about. Was 2023?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about like 2 years ago when you first had the idea, maybe 2 or 3, you had the idea to start the podcast.
Yep.
And you were talking about starting at the crib, and it was just like a fresh idea.
Yeah.
And now you're here, a beautiful studio, all these great people you got on.
Bruh, that's amazing, bro.
That's cool.
Now, that time you came to the spot, now, granted, this man helped me move out in and out of my apartment, by the way.
Family.
I'm moving in again in November. Can you help me then, too, as well?
Most definitely.
It's live on the podcast.
Most
he said he's going to help me out.
I got extra money.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? But nah, bro, so for real, bro, I got a couple questions for you. Okay. And the people got a couple questions for you. But I want to start it off with this question. Now, this question is going to tell me everything that I need to know and that the people need to know moving forward. And we need you as a basketball coach. You coach all levels of basketball, correct? Mm-hmm. Got some pro guys?
Yep.
College guys?
Yep.
High school guys? Mm-hmm. Middle school guys?
Yep.
So it's safe to say you know a lot about basketball.
Most definitely, yeah. Always learning, but.
Cool. Perfect. Who's better, Jordan or LeBron?
Kobe. No hesitation, Kobe.
I'm gonna ask one more time. Let's make sure this mic is on, bro. Make sure the mic is on, bro, because we have the basketball trainer with us, Michael Underwood, and his opinion is very credible. It's credible. Now, I'm asking you again. As far as the GOAT of NBA basketball goes, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Go.
Okay. I don't like answering this question as the GOAT. I'm that guy. I'm sorry, but it's different. It's a different game. So I got all the love for Bron. I got all the love for Mike. I didn't get to watch Mike as much growing up. So, but the GOAT that I did get to watch was the Mamba. So my GOAT is Kobe by far.
Okay. Now I've heard a little small debate, a little rebuttal to that. They said if you calling Kobe the GOAT, then you have to say Mike. Tim Duncan is the GOAT as well.
Oh, Tim Duncan.
Yeah. Look, I said the same thing. But think about Timmy D's career. Yeah. Think about Kobe's career. It's very parallel. One's just loud and one's just quiet.
That is true. No,
so,
I got all the respect for
now,
Timmy D.
But nobody ever throwing on a Timmy D jersey. Nobody ever like, I finna hit Timmy. Nobody's doing that.
The right block over the left shoulder post hook. Yeah.
So with that, leading to my first question, bro, what's the difference in the influence of the game of basketball back in the day than it is now in 2023?
Well, obviously, social media is big. So there's just like with anything else, social media is a platform to influence more, and so you reach more people. But I think that there was still like great influence back in the day with basketball as the game started to grow. So like with the growth of the league, with the growth of the game, the growth of the influence comes with it. Yeah. But you had like Allen Iversons that were, decades ago or a decade or two ago that like completely changed it with the tattoos and the arm sleeves and the braids and the headband and just the way he approached the game. Yeah. And so you had AIs of the world, you had Michael Jordans of the world, and then you have the Kobes of the world, and now you got the Steph Currys, the LeBrons, the Ja Morants, and then the younger guys that are coming into the league that, I mean, now you start to see it that it's not just basketball. Yeah. I think guys are stepping into other roles with music or fashion or whatever else. So you got guys like Russell Westbrook, the way that he's dressing,
the GOAT, Russell. Put the GOAT before Russell Westbrook. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
We stand together on that.
You hear me? Westbrook feel like, hey, Westbrook, you see us, bro? Come on the Free Game Podcast, bro.
Love.
Come on. But anyways, go for it, bro.
But yeah, you got guys like Russ with fashion and guys like maybe Dame, and there's some others that rap or make music.
Yes.
And so they're able to influence and have a a different type of fan base.
Yes.
And so I think the influence is probably bigger now just because there's more resources and tools to influence. Yeah. But I think that the players are always influencing.
Okay. So. Now, before we wax in deep and get detailed and find out who Michael Underwood really is, we got to know all time NBA, your personal top 5. Go.
Now I got to come up with a quick answer.
Come on.
I'll be sitting here all day.
Come on.
1, Steph.
At the point.
At the 1, Steph. Okay. 2, Kobe. You can be mad at me. Actually, nah. Yeah. 3, KD, 4, Bron, 5, Shaq.
Hold on. You're not just going to run past that 3 and 4. You said 3 was who?
KD.
And 4 was who?
Bron. You mean like a starting 5? Like
no, your top.
Oh, like ranked top 5.
No,
I thought you meant
no.
like I'm choosing a starting 5.
I'm talking, yes, you got to win 82 games and then take them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You taking KD at the 3?
Yeah.
And Bron at the 4?
The only other person I may take at the 3 is Kawhi. But I'm taking KD at the 3.
Okay, I have to know. I just got to know. I got to know. Because you're a basketball expert. I'm thinking, why would I have 2 guys in different positions to do the same thing?
Small ball. You can run. LeBron can guard a 4. KD can guard a 4. If Draymond Green can guard a 4, LeBron James can guard
different.
a 4.
Draymond a dog though. He's an
all
around
guy.
Who?
LeBron's your guy.
He is. Okay, that's a different category though. We're not gonna LeBron, he should have been starting at point guard, honestly. I don't know why he said Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry can go off at the 2 though. And didn't he come in the NBA as a shooting guard?
I believe so. But he's ran the 1. His career, the rings come from running the 1. Steph's a GOAT.
I definitely believe that as well.
And actually, I'd probably say Steph is the GOAT, best point guard of all time.
Over Magic?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, like, he just changed the game completely. The way he shoots the ball. I'm a shooter, so I feel like shooting's big with me. It changed the whole game. Now the game is played completely different because of guys like Steph Curry that came in shooting from 35.
Yes.
But he does everything. Like, at his size, his ability to get other guys involved, or his ability to space the floor for guys like Clay or KD to get off.
Yeah.
That's why they were able to play. KD was able to come and join a team like the Warriors because it's not – Steph doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the time. But when he does have the ball in his hands, he impacts the whole game. When he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he impacts the whole game. Yes. So it's just one of those, like, one of those factors.
Now, speaking of impact on the game – take us back to when you had a huge impact on the game, bro, because I heard you was a high school phenomenon. You played a couple college games and whatnot. You were solid. From what we talked about, you was a solid player, bro.
Yeah.
So how did you know that it was going to be basketball?
Actually, that's a funny story. When I was younger, I never played basketball. So I started playing baseball, and I was naturally gifted at baseball. I was really good baseball player. And my dad was a baseball player also, so he got me into baseball. I played up until maybe the 7th grade. Yeah. And I actually remember the day I went and told my dad, I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. Like, I'm not enjoying it. At the time, my older brother, I call him my older brother, shout out to Winston. He started taking me to the park when I was in like the 5th grade and taught me how to shoot a layup, taught me how to shoot a jumper. And I was god awful at basketball. No natural talent whatsoever. But I just enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the people that were playing. I felt like it was more of my crowd and my people. And when I was playing baseball, I mean, kind of bluntly, it's probably something that affected that kind of deterred me away from baseball. But my family didn't have as much money, and a lot of the kids that we were playing with had a ton of money. So it felt like I was always an oddball out with those kids. Especially the kids at the level that I was playing at. They were all really good. Their parents had the money to, for resources and put them in training and little league ball. So I always felt like an oddball out. I stopped enjoying it and I quit. And I told my dad I wanted to get into basketball. Yes. Granted, my dad saw me play basketball. So he's looking at me like, yeah, that's cool. You can play basketball. Don't drop the baseball, please. And so, and my dad will remember that too. We talk about it to this day. And so then I started playing basketball in the 7th, 8th grade. My first organized game I ever played was in the 7th grade. Yeah. I somehow made the A team. I was a little bit taller, so I was like a post guy, rebounded, but I hardly played. So 7th grade, I hardly played. 8th grade, I doubled back, hardly played again. I made the little A team in the 8th grade too, hardly played. I could count on both hands how many points I scored.
Really?
Yeah, I was terrible in middle school. Okay. So I was super late to the game, and everybody around me was so far ahead of me just naturally. And Winston, the same guy I was referring to, I remember him telling me, like, you're straight up, he told me, you're not naturally gifted at basketball. Like, if you want to be decent at it, you gotta work.
Yes.
And so that's why I kind of he's the one that introduced me to Kobe. So I became a Kobe fan, the Mamba mentality and just the work.
Okay.
And then I just relentlessly started working. And then going into high school, in the 8th grade, my parents actually got a divorce. So I remember really struggling with that. And that was when I started to really pick up on basketball. So when I was at the house and I was just in my head and struggling with it all, I would leave. I just get my bag ready and go to the park and just shoot. And I would be at the park until, 2 hours past streetlight time. So it was like my escape for me. And I just became obsessive about it.
Yeah.
And I worked relentlessly. Come high school, 9th grade, I was decent. Sophomore year, I was one of 2 sophomores on varsity. I played okay, and then my junior year is when I kind of took heed, and okay. I wasn't like one of the like huge top guys, yeah. But I at the time I think I was ranked maybe top 50 in the state in my class. Yeah, and okay. I won the offensive MVP in the district. I did okay.
Did you? Okay.
My senior year, I came back. I signed to Central Connecticut State, a little low major Division I in Connecticut, and then that's when I had my first knee surgery. Missed my senior year, and then I went off into college. Yep. So I tell the details of that story kind of to serve as inspiration, because I got started so late.
Yeah. And
I see so many kids that feel like because there's people ahead of them, they can't jump in and put the work in to catch up. But you absolutely can. And now that I was able to do that and see it firsthand, now it's that little saying of KD, hard work beats talent, talent fails to work hard. I live by it now because I got to see it with my own eyes that it's true. You put the work in, you can catch up, you can pass people, and you can do things that nobody expected you to.
Now, what was that mental shift like when you said from sophomore year of varsity, then junior year, that's when you kind of was like the leader?
Yeah.
Now, that mental shift, because I'm sure you kind of realized it, going into the play style, playing, coach giving you the ball more, you got more shots and whatnot.
Yep.
What did that mentally feel like, almost being a sought-in leader?
It was cool because actually there's a few things that played part in that. We had 8 seniors that year.
Really?
And they all left. We won the district in the city or whatever, and we did all right in the playoffs. We were an okay team. And I came back into the next year, and it was me and 2 other returners to varsity. So it was a brand-new team. I didn't really have much of a huge role on the year before. I was a corner shooter. So even then, another testament to the story, my sophomore year, I wasn't a top kid still. Yes. Nobody knew me or my name.
You were still on varsity.
I was still on varsity, and I had my role that I played. But from sophomore year going into my junior year, I remember playing for a team. It was called Texas Express. It's big out here in Fort Worth.
Basketball.
AAU, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not big in the AAU world, but it's big in Fort Worth. So I played for Texas Express, and I remember the coach putting me on the B team. There was 2 teams. There was an elite team, and there was like a B team. And he put me on the B team, and I was frustrated because I knew that I should have been playing with the guys on the A team. The guys on the A team knew I should have been playing with them.
Yeah.
And it was a frustrating year. He kept telling me, next year you're going to be the only guy on varsity, and you need to get used to this role. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, man, this is some BS, bro. Like, I want to travel. I want to have the bags. I want to play the circuit teams. Well, we traveled, but we didn't play like the circuit teams.
Okay.
The A team played like the Under Armour teams, the Nike teams, the Adidas teams.
More views, more.
I didn't get any of it. So I ended up playing for the B team, and I did okay. I got frustrated. I ended up quitting. So I didn't even play the rest of my AAU season. I got so frustrated with him that I quit.
Yeah. What year was that again?
My sophomore going to junior year.
Okay.
That summer. And that whole summer, I tell this story too, that I would wake up every single day. Like my friends can attest to, I would wake up at 9 in the morning, eat, leave the house at 10, walk 3.5 miles to the LA Fitness in Fort Worth. It's about an hour walk. Okay. So I would walk to the gym in the Texas heat in the summer, and I would lift whatever lift I was doing. I was scrawny. But I would get there at like 11, so I'd lift from 10 to 1, and I would walk to the little Chick-fil-A right there, grab my food, chill, eat, get back to the gym like 2, 3, and then I would do my skill work. I had a drill book. Shout out to Drew. You know Drew.
Yeah, of course.
Me and Drew would show up to the gym, and we had a notebook just full of drills. We'd have ball handling drills, finishing drills, shooting drills. Had to come up with everything on our own.
Yeah.
I didn't have no trainer. I was on YouTube University looking up everything, and so I would get to the gym, do my drills, and then wait until I'd lay down for a little bit, wait for the older guys to get there. We would start playing at like 5 or 6. I would play until like 8 or 9, and then walk back home, get home at like 10. Every single day, no kidding. And so that was when that separation started to happen. I didn't have a car. Sometimes I was blessed to get a ride home from people, but that whole summer I was just in the gym, just focused. And I remember also that at that time the guys on the older team, they were in the Fort Worth district too.
Okay.
And I remember them telling me this. Actually, I'm gonna look at the camera. Shout out to Jeff. I'm gonna clip this and send this to him too. We were playing and they were on the A team, and we're all, chirping back and forth about the school season. And he tells me, Mike's only good for like 10, 12 points. We're not worried about them. So mind you, I quit that team and I went and just locked in the gym. And that next year, we showed up and played Arlington Heights. And I say Jeff just because he's the one that said it, but I gave them 28 and hit the game winner on them. And that year was the year that I won the offensive MVP. So
really?
the summer before, there was, they were telling me like, oh, Mike's good for 10 points, whatever. Yeah.
You put in the work and then came back, gave him 30.
That's it. Yeah.
With a dub.
That's it.
Really?
Yeah. So that to your point of like, what was that shift?
Yes.
It was just locking into working and not focusing too much on the role that was coming to me. It was just, if I lock into my work, then the rest of the results will show themselves. Whatever I'm supposed to do, I'll do.
Yes.
But as long as I focused on the work, then that was it. Yeah.
Now you were able to see your results in 4K, like with your eyes.
Yeah.
You dropping 30 on people. Going to your senior year, what did that first college offer feel like?
Man, it was like surreal because I just remember starting to stress so hard on it. And I played in the summer, so my junior to senior year summer, I played on a really good team, like an Adidas Gauntlet team. And we were traveling and playing in Vegas, and coaches were always on the baseline and watching. And I had a ton of good games, but I never heard from anybody. And then when I heard from Coach Marshall, Danielle Marshall, that was the coach at Central Connecticut, and the assistant that was under him, Coach Anderson. It was super surreal for me, and I remember that when I got the offer, it was on homecoming night in my senior year, and he texted me, and they extended the offer to me or whatever. I don't remember the details of how it happened, but I remember just sitting there like full of emotion, like, dang, I got a Division I offer. Nobody in my family had ever played, like in the extent of my family never played collegiate athletics.
Really?
So
definitely not D1.
It was like surreal. It was just, even though it was a low major and I was competing with guys that were getting TCUs and A&Ms and all this stuff, it was just such a surreal moment to like obtain an accolade like that. And I think when I ended up signing, and then soon after I signed, I found out I tore my meniscus. But I also was like the first player at my school to sign Division I since Brent Hackett, and he played at TCU. Coach Hackett was cold, but he played at TCU maybe, I don't want to say 10 years, make it sound old or something, but it had been like 10 plus years since the last person at Southwest signed and played Division I basketball. I believe so.
So you pretty much made history within that time frame.
Somewhat, yeah.
Definitely for
where
your
I
class,
was at.
if you were.
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, take me back to, because you keep skipping over the meniscus injury. You talking about the injury,
you were the one that was
you're
working
mentioning,
on.
you know what I'm saying? You're mentioning the injury or whatnot. You keep skipping over it, but the young guns that are listening out there, you're dealing with injuries, or you're dealing with maybe low self-esteem, or they're not getting the looks, or they're on varsity and they're not getting the PT that they feel like they deserve. Mm-hmm. So with that, when you put in that work, when you made that mental shift, talk to the young guns out there that they feel they're entitled. They're entitled. Yeah. I feel like I'm 6'6", I'm black, I can jump, my grades are good, I can do everything. Why coach not playing me? Mm-hmm. What do you say to that kid?
You can't focus on it, because actually I like answering questions like that through my own testimonies and my story. So a great example of that is when I went to college. For those guys that just feel entitled about playing, my freshman year, mind you, like I said, I was I was that guy with the basketball stuff in Fort Worth and where I was playing at, and so I was a big fish in a small pond. And when I go out to Connecticut and I played, now I'm the best player on my team. Everybody else is the best players on their team too. And now I'm playing against. I'm 18, and my 18-year-old body, scrawny and immature and injured. And then I broke this little janky pinky right before I went. So I was just a mess going up there, but I still had this sense of entitlement that I needed to be playing.
Yep.
And I was playing behind a guy that was 23, 24, and grown man. He was averaging 18, 5, and 5 or something crazy like that for us. Okay. Rest in peace to Tyler. It was like my big brother. Yeah, he passed away this year. But I was playing behind Tyler, and to this day, he was the best player I've ever played with. He was the oldest, but he was just such a good player. And I say that to say I stepped into that freshman year thinking that I should be playing, and I was entitled to this and that because of what I did or who I thought I was. And I was extremely humbling experience because then throughout the year, I wasn't focused on my work, and I wasn't focused on showing up every day, and I wasn't focused on getting better and realizing that I had 4, 5, 6 years of time. Yeah. I expected things to happen right when I wanted them to happen, not trusting God's plans. So then I ended up playing worse and worse and worse because of that. And now coach looks down the bench, and I'm sitting there soaking and all sad and in my feelings because I'm not playing. Yeah. He's not going to put you in the game. So that was a hard lesson, I would say, that I had to learn. But then I doubled back, did the same thing my sophomore year in junior college. But I learned it after that, though. But, yeah, it's just like you have to focus on your work, because the moment that you stop focusing on your work, then you're not getting any better. Yes. And if you should be playing, if there was a reason why you should be playing, you would be playing. That's the hard truth of it. It's
now,
like
the young guns are hearing you, though, and they're like, but, Coach, like, the situation, everybody talks about, it's about your situation. Mm-hmm. I know guys that can ball their face off, but the situation that they were put in or that they chose to go into, they sat the bench, or they only averaged 5 points and only got 10 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. So they're hearing you, but they're not feeling you because they're not getting what they feel like they deserve because of that entitlement, mm-hmm. right? But it's a sense of, I'm not getting that because of my situation, Coach. Yeah. Like I can go hoop at Kansas and get 30, but I'm at Oklahoma and they're not even playing me. Mm-hmm. So what do you say to the guy
there's truth in that? Like there's politicking that goes on.
Oh, come on. Open that one.
High school, AAU, college, there's politicking that goes on. I see players that I'm watching. I retract that statement. I said if you should be playing, like if the reason why you should be playing, you should be playing. I retract that statement because it is situational. Right. But you have to get to a place where there's some sort of like extreme ownership. So even though you may be put in a situation where a coach is doing you in or you're not getting the minutes that you deserve, I have a player that's struggling with that now. And my statement with that is like, you have to recognize that in the grand scheme of things, you may have your plan or how you expect things to go, but God might, and this is the cliche thing people get tired of hearing, but it's the truth, is that God has a different plan. He has his plan. And it might not always align with what you want, but if you know what you want in your mind and heart and you want it for good reasons and you put the work into it and you have a plan, God may reroute you, but at some point you'll get to the destination more prepared for it. Because there's lessons that I might not be able to teach somebody just talking into the camera. Yeah. But if you're aware of the things that I'm saying and you're actually observing what's going on in your life, you can maybe see the little signs and messages that God's trying to tell you to prepare you mentally, emotionally, spiritually to step into a bigger role.
Beautiful segue. Beautiful segue. Tell us about Dreamer Academy.
Okay.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue.
Yeah. Well, I came with the Dreamer Academy within this last year. And actually, before we even get into that, I'll just get into how I got into training. Okay. So coming home from school, so I get through my whole year. I played my freshman year at Central Connecticut. Yep. Arrogant, big-headed, and I transferred. I went junior college. Yeah. Played really, really well the first half of the season. And I got
pre-injury, correct?
My second injury, yeah. Okay. After my high school injury.
Got it. Okay.
So, yep. Okay. So I go junior college. I'm playing extremely well. We're a top team in the country. Everything is good. And then I come back the second semester, and I'm hearing from coaches. My college coach is hearing from coaches. I was averaging like 10 and 6, shooting 50% from 3.
Really?
Yeah. Second semester, I come back and just wet the bed like bad. Yeah, and I shot 20% from three, lost. I mean, my numbers went down, and it became a spiral effect where I was in my feelings.
Yes.
I wasn't focused on my work. I started losing minutes. My coach couldn't play me because I wasn't effective, and then I got mad at him, and it was a whole thing. So that's when I ended up signing to St. Mary's University in San Antonio. I had a knee surgery before then, COVID. I asked to sit out basically, and I was released after the season because they just didn't think I was gonna get healthy. My knees looked kind of bad and stuff. So coming home from that, I was really lost. Like I was home with bills and an apartment and all this stuff going, like real life stuff going on. And I was struggling with that. And then I was in this place where I kind of knew my window of opportunity was closing for my career and playing, and I made decisions that I had to sit in the consequences for. I made decisions to leave schools and be arrogant and whatever else that put me in a position where, I mean, you had 3-4 opportunities to play, and you didn't learn the lesson I was trying to teach you. And so God kind of sat me down, and I was lost. And coming home, I remember I always, like I said, going back to when I was in the gym myself, I had to train myself. I had to teach myself how to play. I had to learn the nuances and how to shoot and all the details myself. And so that's when I came home. I was like, man, I would love to own my own gym. Like I would love to own my own facility. I'd love to just have impact in my community and be a resource to people. And I was talking to Alex Robinson. Shout out to A-Rob. He's the TCU point guard from TCU. All-time leading assister at TCU. I got you, dog. But he was telling me, like, it was a great idea. And he was playing in the G League and overseas, NBA, Africa and stuff. And he connected me with Brandon Fields. So that's, like, my big brother now. I got so much love for B. Fields because I didn't know what I was going to do. I kind of showed up to his gym one day. He needed an intern. And I was working at Whole Foods. And I was making, like, $15 an hour. And
You look like a Whole Foods type of
That's what we're doing? Yeah, I'm letting
You look
go.
like it,
I'm
bro.
letting go.
Hey, bro.
With the apron. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Hey, I feel safe if I walk in the store and I see you, bro.
Yeah.
Like he know what he talking about, bro.
Yeah.
The smile and everything. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie though. I worked 3 days at Whole Foods, bro, and I was like, that third day I was on the bottom shelf, like stacking beans. And this is nothing to nobody. This is the store or whatever. But I'm 6'6", bro, and I'm on the floor stacking beans, and I sat down on the floor to stack the beans. I'm tall as hell. The manager comes by, is like, "Yo, you gotta like get on your knees." Pause. But he was like, you can't sit down. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm 6'6", like my back is killing me.
What are you talking about?
Hey, after that I was done. So anyways,
You had to wrap it up.
I show up to right around that time, the bean day. I show up to B Field's gym. He has this really cool facility that he had just opened up with turf and weights and the court and everything. And he had all these kids that he was training, and he had AAU going and all that stuff. And he kind of was just like, I need somebody's help. Like, my business is growing. I need somebody's help with the kids. And he learned about me and, like, my knowledge and stuff like that. And then I just kind of showed up and started helping him. And he ended up telling me, like, yo, if you can stay in the gym, I'll pay you what Whole Foods is paying you for half the time. Like, yeah, for sure. So I go in.
You ain't got to sit down either.
Nah.
Oh, you can't sit down if you wanted to.
Yeah, afterwards. But so I get to training with all the kids, and B is teaching me just about handling parents and the business, and I'm observing. I'm not just there. I'm learning. I'm soaking everything up. Soaking everything in and stuff like that. And we just kept working. And then that's when he asked me, yo, do you want to coach AAU? I got a 4th grade team. I'm like, bro, no. Mind you, I worked at Game On before. I think it was right after Whole Foods. I worked at Game On, and it was another like $15 an hour. But I was coaching kids and stuff, and like the kids weren't at that high of a level, and I didn't understand how to coach at the time, so it was frustrating for me, and it seemed watered down, and I just wasn't enjoying it because I didn't know how to coach. And I told him, like, no, bro, I'm not coaching 4th graders.
Sorry.
And then I started seeing the 4th and 5th graders that came in. I'm like, yo, this is different. Yeah. Okay. And then I showed up to some tournaments, and then I ended up coaching my own team They were in the 4th grade last year. And so B got me into the AAU scene, and like that little string left of me playing like around the game, B helped me stay connected to the game. So I kind of stayed around it and everything, and then it just got to a point where real life hit me. And after maybe a year or so in the gym, something like that, of training with B, I wasn't making enough money.
Yeah.
And that's when I started doing the roofing and stuff. And I wasn't in the gym helping B as much, training and stuff. And I did nothing with basketball. So then I disconnected completely from basketball. And my guy, Eddie Lampkin, he was the big at TCU at the time. Shout out to Eddie. That's my brother. Yeah, I bet. I'm excited for that. But shout out to Eddie, because Eddie hit me randomly one day and was like, and we trained a little bit when I was working with B. So he had hit me. We started training at the school.
They weren't strangers.
Nah. So he hit me. He was like, yo, let's lock back in the gym. Like, I'm getting ready for the next season. When our season ends, let's lock in. I'm like, okay, cool. I really was just working him out because it's my guy. I wasn't in the mind of training or anything like that. I was just like, Eddie's my guy. We have a relationship. I know that I could help him. I'm going to go and get in the gym with him. That's when Ant showed up. Shout out to Ant. There's so many people that God placed in my journey, bro, that just made everything happen. But that night, Eddie hit up Ant to come record. And Ant came and recorded, and we did have a really good workout. It was fun. We leave, and me and Ant and Broderick does my video. Shout out to Broderick. We all sit in a parking lot for 2 hours, and Ant basically was just like, bro, you need to be doing this full time. Like, I'm around Jermichael Finley that's doing football training. I'm around these other people in sports, and I'm shooting all this video, and I'm seeing that I'm seeing the talent, I'm seeing what people do, and I'm seeing what you do, and you have a natural gift for teaching and mentoring, and you have a knowledge of the game. Like, you need to be doing this full time. So then Ant had the proposal, let's lock in once a month. We'll both own up to it once a month. We'll lock in the gym. I'll come and record. We'll get your content going. Just off love, whatever you need. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. From that conversation, it sparked some fire in me, and me and Eddie were in the gym all the time. I started taking the training really serious, and I just started working. And then over time, I was training Eddie, and then I had a couple other guys, college guys that I was training and getting them ready. And I then eventually ended up quitting the roofing job. Once I had some kids on the side that I was training and things started to make sense, I was able to keep all my personal expenses really low on the business side of things. I didn't go out and get a new car. I didn't go out and get a truck with my roofing money when I definitely could have. I didn't go out and try and get my own apartment and flex. I didn't try and go buy no designer. I didn't try and waste all my money on those things. I was like, you know what? This money that I've made and the position that I'm in, living with my sister and my brother-in-law, shout out to them, I've allowed myself to keep my expenses really low. Now it's time, okay, I'm going to take this money to pay for my life, and I'm going to jump into the deep end and start my training business. And I knew that I had a niche for it and stuff like that, and I felt like I could do it. Things were just lining up. Took the leap of faith, and it started me training at Crowley. And just from the relationships that I built, just being genuine and just taking care of people, adding value when I could, it just made things so easy for me to grow. And that's when we got to the Dreamer Academy. So then I started the Dreamer Academy, and where that kind of stems from is from that story I was telling you about with me as a kid. That side note with Pops, I remember at that time when I was transitioning from baseball, I was like, I don't remember how old I was, maybe a freshman in high school or something. And I told my dad, like, I'm gonna play Division I basketball. And I vividly remember my dad was like, all right. Like, sure. Okay. No love from Pops, not gonna lie. Number one supporter, but Pops didn't give me no love on that. I don't know.
That was love, though.
It was love.
Like, when you think about now where your 2 feet are,
yeah.
Like, if your Pops would have been like, oh my gosh, son, like, I'm so proud of you, I believe in you, it may have helped, but that would have been another reason to give up.
Water it down a little bit.
Well, hey, he's my dad. He's gonna, but it was just like, okay.
I gotta prove him too.
So that pissed you on in a way, and you used it towards, go ahead.
But yeah, I remember my dad telling me that, and and I'm not like, it doesn't make me feel this type of way. It's
Yeah.
it's real. I was trash.
Absolutely.
So like, if it was
Absolutely.
my son, I'd be like,
Son.
sure, let's do it.
Your daddy's son. Absolutely.
And mind you, he still took me 6 a.m. to all my basketball practices.
Really?
He's working a full-time job, single dad, and taking care of everybody and all this stuff. So he had a huge part in my ability to grow and play. He paid for my gym membership.
Wow.
He paid for everything, and well, everything that he could.
Of course.
And so, yeah, that's where the Dreamer Academy kind of came, is because I had that vision where I told my dad, I'm going to play Division I basketball. Nobody had ever done it in my family. I was terrible at the sport.
Yeah.
And I just ended up proving to my dad through my work, being so relentless in my work and my pursuit of it, that I made it happen.
Yes.
And that's where the Dreamer Academy thing kind of came from, is as cliche as it sounds, it's really hitting home to people that you literally, what you set your mind to, you can make it happen. It doesn't just fall from the sky. It comes with prayer. It comes with trusting when things aren't going your way, just sitting through the storm, having a plan, having a real plan, not just going with the flow, having a real plan that you can execute small goals, execute, longer term goals and stuff like that, and then just working hard.
Yes.
Being a good person and working hard. And through all of that, you could literally, God will bless you with what you want, or
Yes.
bless you with success.
Yeah.
So that's where the Dreamer Academy thing kind of came from, getting into training and the brand and all of that. So
Now, it sounds like from the story you gave up on basketball.
yeah,
You roofed. You was like, I'm done. You're throwing a towel with basketball, like I'm through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's safe to say that, not that it was basketball that you was giving up on, but it was almost yourself.
Myself.
Like your goal. And then somebody
You're
else
saying when I was playing?
Yeah, no. After you said, no, I'm done with basketball, you went to roofing.
Yeah.
You didn't pick up a basketball for God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you quit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a break. It wasn't vacation. You was done.
Mm-hmm.
You had no idea going back to basketball at all. But then somebody believed in you and said, hey, like you still are basketball. I know you're struggling right now, but this is still basketball.
Ant, man, shout out
to
Ant.
Now,
bro.
with that, no, for real.
Hey, man.
For real. No, so with that, what was that transition like from going from player, thinking me, I want to go hoop, I want to now being a coach, and you're able to essentially talk to little yous now and help these children go from avoid trial and error from your trial and errors, and just tell them, hey, don't go that way. It don't look the way you're supposed to think it's supposed to look. Don't go that way. It's supposed to, and don't do that. And it's supposed to. So what's that transition like from player to coach now?
It was difficult, definitely at first, because like there's pros and there's cons to that relentless mentality. Like you go so hard, and when things are going well, it's like, yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when you make mistakes and when things don't go the way that you have it planned, you crash hard, like you burn hard, because it's not like this facade that you put on that you believe in yourself so much. It's almost like this arrogance that you carry with you, a healthy arrogance that you carry with you, that like no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so you have your mindset on one thing. There is no plan B. I didn't have no plan B. I was a straight A student, 4.5 GPA in high school. I did my thing in high school, and I probably could have got to college for free. But I didn't have no plan B for a career. It's like my career was playing ball. And so it was extremely tough, because you just, it doesn't happen. All those little dreams and visions that you have, when you make mistakes and you don't follow through properly, it hurts. Like it hurts you, and it killed me. That was through that year. What was that? Like 2 years ago, it's maybe 21, 22?
Just about, yeah.
I think so.
Just
that was
22 probably.
That was the hardest year of my life. Transitioning from playing and having all of my eggs in one basket playing to not playing. Not necessarily training yet, but not playing. It was the hardest crash. I wasn't getting my hair cut. I wasn't taking care of my hygiene. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't in a growth mindset. It was just kind of, man, I just need something to break through and something to go my way. And it didn't happen that way. And so it took a lot of prayer to get out of that dark place, is leaning into God, honestly.
Now, as much as you're willing to share, of course, you went through some struggles in a relationship back then. And that relationship was something that you had
you thought that was the one. Like you thought that situation was the main situation, if you will.
Yeah.
And then God held the plans. So because the people are listening, the young guns are listening out there, and they're like, oh man, like he waxing deep, but take him deeper, bro. Because you talk about superficial basketball. We talk about basketball. This was way more than basketball.
Yeah.
Tell us about your bank account. Tell us about that one situation with the one shorty, and then what happened from there, and then what happened from there. Like, take us deep to take us deep down into that world. I
heard a service in church at I think it was at Life Church, maybe. But I heard a sermon at church that said a lot of people, like, we need more testimonies in the world, and a lot of people are scared to share their testimonies for whatever reason, and like it's tough sharing your testimony sometimes because of judgment or whatever else. But I'm comfortable sharing some of it. So during that year, I came home from school and I was living with somebody at the time, and it just you're young and you're not understanding life, and then you have money, and like money's connected or like joined together, and then you have bills and you have all this other stuff, all these other responsibilities, and when you're trying to just be young and figure it out, and you have all these responsibilities as if you're 30 or married or whatever else, it takes a toll on you, and you're not prepared for it mentally or spiritually or financially. So at the time, I was like, I didn't have no money. I wasn't providing nothing. I wasn't being like a man of good standing. I wasn't being any of that. So obviously, like the relationship I was in at that time was a longer one, and whenever that ended, within that of like me losing myself, that's a harsh reality for men, is like you lose yourself. Well, that's just tricky because you can lose people along the way. Now obviously you have solid people that stick by your side, and you know those people are meant to be in your life when you crash and burn. But there is a responsibility for men to stay strong and provide and protect and do all these things. And so part of that process of crashing and burning from playing was losing myself, and I didn't have no money. I wasn't truly grinding and hustling. Now in the mindset and position I'm in now, if all of this training stuff crash and burn, I'm picking up 2-3 jobs. I'm going and getting it done because that's my responsibility outside of just my dreams and what I want to make happen. So yeah, at the time, it's just my bank account was low. I was going through all of that. I remember actually leaving that lease. This was a God too right here, but leaving that lease in that apartment that I was in, after coming home, I struggled that whole year, and then the lease ended, and me and the person I was with split, and I was kind of on my own, and didn't have no money, bro. I couldn't get a haircut. I was still training with B Fields at the time, and he was giving me everything that he could. He has a family and all this stuff, but he was giving me everything he could, and I thank him so much for that. And I didn't have anywhere to stay, so I moved out July 7th out of my apartment, and I was supposed to move into a house July 27th. I had nowhere to stay. So I was basically homeless. Now, granted, God was like, and I would have stayed with my parents and them, but they were moving out of state in a tiny apartment. I didn't want to cause anybody issues and go out to people like, let me stay with you and this and that. I'll figure it out on my own. And if I need to stay in my car, I will. And luckily, literally like 2 days before I moved out the apartment, my mom calls me, hey, I'm going out of town. Can you watch the house for like a week or something like that? I'm like, yes.
Please.
Sign me up. So I go and I stay at my mom's house, and I watch the dogs, and I have a place to stay for a week. Kid you not, bro. Halfway through, I have like a few days left staying at my mom's, and I'm like, damn, I don't know what I'm going to do. B Fields calls me. Yo, we're going out of town. I need somebody to watch the house for 2 weeks. Can you come watch the dog? Wow. I'm like, yes, bro. I'll be there. I'll be there in 2 days. So then I met my mom's for a week, and then it lines up where I stay at B Fields literally the day after. So I think I left my mom's like, I don't remember the exact day, maybe the 14th or something. Come to B Fields' house the 15th. And they go out of town, and I stay and watch his house. They stock the fridge for me, the food, all that good stuff, take care of me. And B was aware of what was going on with me at the time. And he was one of the people that offered, like, bro, you can come live with us. Bro, shout out to B, bro. That's my brother. I love you. Yeah. But he extended that offer to me. I was just in a position where I don't want to bother nobody. I'm going to figure it out. God ended up figuring it out for me, and I stayed. A couple of days after that, there might have been like a day or two or something that I did stay in my car. Yeah. Just, in that situation. I had all my stuff in my car, like from my apartment. I dropped some stuff off at like my dad's house, and then clothes and stuff are in my car. And then I ended up moving in with my sister 27th, and that's when I got into I was still training a bit. And then I got into the roofing stuff in September, and then the training with Eddie and all that kind of mixed in between September and March. Excuse me. And then come March, that's when I kind of went off and started doing the training and stuff.
Really?
So it was like the roughest year of my entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, updating to where you are now, because the people are like, okay, yes, amazing, great story. You came from the mud, if you will. Now tell them where you are today. Now, not where you want to be, I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
It's still growth.
Most definitely.
But finish the story for the people, if you will.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, he's in his car? Like, he can stay with me. I got 4 rows available. It's supposed to update him on where you are now today.
So now, I started the training stuff.
Praise
and
God.
like I was saying before, from a business perspective, I've kept my my expenses really low, so I don't have too much financial responsibility. It allows me to still enjoy my life and go have fun with my girlfriend and do stuff together, and we have a ton of fun. And then obviously I'm staying with family, so that was a smart business decision. Some people are scared, or some people want to go out for the gram and get the nice car and all this stuff instead of being humble and just building. And so I'm still in a phase where I'm building, and I started my business like 3 months ago or something like that, and things have picked up week by week. I stay praying on it every day, hitting the floor praying. And everything just continues to grow week by week. I get new relationships week by week that help me out and help the business out and stuff like that. And I'm in a position now where I'm training and just kind of not coasting through, but just grind. So it's just working through and letting things compound. I'm not expecting no big break or nothing, just pouring into my kids and
doing your thing.
Making all the kids get better, getting excited and ready for the seasons. We got like some content and stuff coming up soon for the seasons and stuff like that on YouTube. So
shout out to them.
Then like life is good. You know what I mean?
Now, if you're just joining us, I have the basketball expert, Michael Underwood. Now, to the people that don't know Dreamer Academy and what to expect, tell them exactly what you do and what to expect if they want to sign up themselves as an athlete, or they want to sign up their son or daughter.
So I both boys and girls. I have youth training, so I go down like first, second grade all the way up through high school, college, pros, and I have kids all the way from the straight beginning of touching the basketball. My girlfriend's little sister is a great testament to that. She never played basketball. She's grown so much in like 2-3 months. So kids that have never touched a basketball all the way up to kids or players that are top of the class, elite level, college offers and stuff like that. So I train at Crowley High School Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Redline Athletics in Arlington Tuesdays and Fridays in the evenings. I have my website and everything, so all of the scheduling and pricing and booking information is on there. And
tell them where to find you.
On my Instagram.
Tell them what's the Instagram name?
Instagram is just my name, so it's Michael Michael B Underwood. So at Michael B Underwood. That's just my Instagram.
Okay, now shifting gears a little bit, because we talk about all levels of basketball. Now, you're familiar with the Ja Morant situation. Situations. That's one of your guys. What do you tell them? What advice do you give your Ja Morant?
I mean, I'd say, like, obviously it's not a good situation, so I'm not like downplaying it all. That like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Just because his influence on kids is really big. But if it was one of my players, it would just be not to beat himself up too bad. I'm sure that with all the media and stuff, Ja's understanding of his influence over kids, so it's not like he's just sitting there like, I'm not worried about what y'all are talking about. I need y'all to come and critique me and all this stuff. I need Twitter to go off on me for me to understand. I'm sure he understands. So sometimes you just need people that aren't gonna be the coach, if you will. Like, it's just being somebody there to go through the rut with. It's like, yo, you're good. You're gonna bounce back from it. Take your time. Focus back in on you. Focus back in on your work. Focus back in on developing as a person. Understand your influence over kids, and then let's rock and show people that you can influence the kids the right way.
Okay, and bring your credibility back.
Yeah.
Now, what's your thoughts on these new NIL deals, bro? Because I just seen something yesterday. Bronny James is projected to make $6.1 million.
Is he really?
Deion Sanderson, the quarterback, $4-point-something million. Angel Reese, LSU, like college basketball. These are all college athletes, by the way, guys. And essentially, what they said is that somebody, I want to say it was Saunders, the quarterback. He's making more than 95% of all defensive backs in NFL right now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the NIL stuff is like beautiful. I think it's good because the athletes work so hard. People think that just because you made it to the league, you made it. You make it. You're a professional when you're in college. Your whole life is your sport, whatever you're doing, because you're a full-time student. You have to be a full-time student to be eligible to play. So you're a full-time student. Some people being a full-time student is already too much on their plate. Yeah. Now backdoor with a full-time student, you're a full-time athlete. Yeah. So that includes weights, that includes study hall, that includes practices, that includes individuals, that includes going to the gym and getting work in on your own, because you may have individuals with assistant coaches or whoever, then you may go get work on your own. That includes recovery, going to the training room. You don't get time to really hop on the game like that when you're rolling. So you're a professional, and you're expected to carry yourself as a professional. You're the face of the campuses that you're on. No, for real. Obviously, then when you get into the numbers, how much money Colorado is making, or the football team is making the university. Yeah. So it only makes sense. I'm surprised it took this long, honestly. Yeah. And some people think that it's going to affect and change the game. I think the game will stay the same. It's just the players are some things will change. Obviously, like coaches will have to approach things differently because they have players that are making more than what they're making. But there's more pressure on the coaches to be respectable people.
But then that takes away from the respect of the game, though, bro. Because back in our parents' age, grandpa's like, they wasn't getting paid. Obviously, the athletes, our parents weren't getting paid, but the coaches are. Mm-hmm. Now, these athletes are getting paid more than the coaches. Mm-hmm. So either I'm not going to play for this coach, or like Caleb Williams says, if the first round draft pick next year isn't who I like, I'm going to stay in USC another year. Mm-hmm. So essentially it's giving the athletes back their control. Mm-hmm. But what happens when they get out of control, though?
But I think that it's fair because at the end of the day, it's a business. Like one of the hard people want the athletes to be the hard workers that just show up and get things done with passion and love. Yeah. But then you got the ADs that's running a business. You got the coaches that are running the business. You got in the professional world, you got GMs that are running a business, or owners that are running a business, or donors at university that are running a business. So at the end of the day, if everybody else is playing the game, why can't the players play the same business game? Let them play the game too. If there's you gotta, if you want me here, then you gotta not necessarily adhere to me, but like it has to make sense. Yeah. And
because they're adults.
And there's players that are professionals in the NBA that carry themselves improperly, and then now the certain organizations don't respect them as much, and maybe they get blackballed from the league or something like that because they're not respected because of how they carry themselves. I don't think that it just because players are getting paid millions, it gives them the right to just act however. It's not going to work, though. It's not how life works.
But John Moran is defying that odd, though. They're saying John Moran got 25 games, and he can do the same thing twice and still just get a little slap on the wrist. I can go ahead and do the same thing, right?
I doubt that they would slap him on the wrist 2 times. They're saying that my talent is
going to be able to offset discipline.
Yeah.
I don't got to follow your rules. I am the reason why your franchise is right here. Yeah. You get rid of me, you're getting rid of your paycheck.
Yeah. But that's part of the business. Ja does bring that much money into the Grizzlies organization. But there also are people that were top players that were getting paid a lot that made a bad decision, and then they weren't allowed in the league.
That's true.
Gilbert Arenas.
Ooh.
So it's for just a situation, something goes wrong to where now he's not able to be in the league. Like there's still repercussions for actions, but it's on the league, and that's a whole nother topic of how they choose to handle players and consequences and stuff like that. That's how they choose to handle it, because if they handle it improperly, now it's the fans that are going to be on the league about how they chose to handle it.
Absolutely.
But the fans are already on the players so much. Like there's so many more eyes too on the players. Like everybody in the world has a job. Yeah. So everybody messes up at their job. Yeah. Everybody does stupid stuff. We all have human flaws and errors. And people think because these college athletes or these professionals have so many more eyes on them that they're supposed to just act perfect. Like they're humans and they're flawed. And in reality, a lot of the athletes know how to carry themselves better, more professionally because they're expected to. Yes. But that doesn't mean that they can't make mistakes and flaws. And when they do make a mistake that somebody else may make on the street, they got to be, crucified for it. You know what I mean? For lack of better words.
Okay. Got you. Now, I got a couple of questions for you now, bro, because the people want to know about Coach Underwood. Now, I'm not going to tell you who these came from. I'm just going to tell you the question. I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
Let's go with number one. Can you beat CJ 1v1?
I wonder who this came from. I don't know, CJ. I feel like I've never seen you hoop. I feel like you got a nice little post bag.
Hey, bro, I played hoops with my boy Jace Brock. He plays at South Dakota.
Jace.
Shout out to
Jace,
Jace, bro. I went to hoop with him at
Sierra?
Yes, that's it, bro. I think I went 3-4 straight days, bro.
You were hooping.
Thought I was. Bro, these little 13, 14-year-old kids was hooping, bro.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't lose. Now, we're not dumb.
And it was 5 a.m. I know it was.
Bro, I'm talking like, dog, yo. Like, I haven't moved that way in a long time.
Yeah.
Now, I still got it.
Okay.
I still got if you watch me play, I remind you of Draymond Green.
I believe the last 3 years I got that vibe, bro. The Draymond vibe.
Hey, bro, he's an all-purpose player.
That's true.
Okay, Draymond is literally LeBron, just not as dominant. He can pass. He can rebound. He can play defense. He can talk his noise.
I see where you're going with it.
You see my point?
I see where you're going with it.
So they're pretty much the same
Okay.
player. Draymond Green is just like the great value brand of LeBron.
Yeah.
Fair to say?
Yeah.
Not really. Okay. Who made you go so hard?
Like with basketball, does it just say that?
Who made you go so hard?
Oh man, it's a few people. There's just whether it be people around me. I'll just to keep it a simple answer because there's so many people, and shout out to everybody in my journey that has made me go hard. Obviously, like I said, Kobe Bryant had a big influence on me when I was a kid. Just learning how to work hard and stuff. But also when it comes to just family, I got a good mix of friends and stuff like that. Sam, shout out to Sam, Drew, and all the other people around me in my close circle that just we hold each other accountable. We're not afraid to check each other when we're moving in the wrong direction and just elevate. So we all push each other. Yeah.
Okay. Who was your favorite player to play with in all of your basketball career?
Man, shout out to Drewski, man. That's my high school PG. Look,
That's your dog?
we'd come down 5-out double screen down the corner for Mike. Every play, shooting.
Greens?
Yeah, Drew got me the ball every time.
He said that's his
my
guy.
favorite teammate. Yeah.
Why PJ used to fry you? Come on, talk to us.
That's when I was on the creatine. I was 235. He's a high major guard.
Okay.
PJ's tough. He played at TCU.
PJ was cooking you
He's
though,
at
bro?
Tulsa now. Huh?
He was cooking you though?
Cooking, I don't know, but he got some buckets though, some tough ones because I was a little slow. I'm 215 now. So
Okay.
P, when you come back through the city on
Yeah.
your way back to Houston,
Yeah.
just make a pit stop. We can run the ones. Just me and you though.
How many times did Eddie kill you before he transferred?
Oh my God.
Come on now.
We got PJ and Eddie on here just talking, bro. Really, Eddie says that, but the last time we ran ones, he got him though.
Did he?
Yeah, he knows it. He didn't respect me. He thought I couldn't shoot no more.
Yeah.
So I was just drilling from the top.
Now Eddie plays where?
Eddie's at Colorado now.
Okay. So his debute's coming up soon.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
shout out to Eddie.
He's
Shout out Eddie.
recovering, so pray for Eddie's recovering from.
Okay.
He just had a little surgery or whatever. So I'm actually going out there next month
Really?
to do some work with him, get it ready for the season
right.
and stuff. So
But
there'll be
we going
content
out
on
there
that too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Basketball or football? Which one's harder?
Dang, I don't know. I couldn't give like an honest opinion because I never played football like that.
Okay, how about this one then?
Okay.
Which one's easier? For a basketball player to play football or a football player to play basketball?
Football player to play basketball, just because it. Well,
Hold on. What?
I said that quick, but basketball, it depends on the level you're playing at because basketball involves so many more details and skills to be good. There's just multiple skills you have to play.
Absolutely.
But it'd be hard for some basketball players to transition to football because of the physicality.
Depending on your positioning.
See, that's one of the just situational type of things.
Okay.
Depends on the level you're playing
of course
at.
you're not going to put
Depends
no
on the
KD on the line.
But if
Not gonna be my
LeBron goes
right
to the
guard.
league, he'll probably be one of the best players in the NFL.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So
but
I feel like
if you bring Tom Brady to the NBA, he's not doing nothing. He might hit. See, Tom Brady might hit a little short corner.
a little something.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite thing about your job?
Mentoring, like just being there for kids. It's a weird thing because you never know when kids are like. That's one thing I'm learning. I feel like I'm young, which I am young. I'm 23, but I'm old to a lot of the kids in high school. So they, when we were in high school, we're always messing and picking on the older people. So it's funny deciphering between when the kids are picking on you and not taking it as serious. Yeah. But then when there's moments when it's real heart to heart and you get to be a big brother for the kids, you know, at the end of the day when you walk in, they love you and like you have an impact on them. So that's my favorite thing is like just being around the young men and stuff like that and helping them grow and like I'm excited to be able to help them make decisions and just see through things properly and have somebody genuine in their life to carry them through. So
I freaking love that, bro. Now, as always, closing in the show, I always ask the guest, what is one piece of free game that you've gotten in all your 23 years that you would love to give to the world? One piece.
I'm gonna say this. There's so many, but I'm gonna say this just because I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, so people can replay a little story I had to tell. But I also heard this in a service recently. But if you want to make something happen, if you got that dream, don't focus so much on your dream and just expecting things to come to you. If you have a dream that you want to go get to, create a plan. Put the right people around you to help elevate you to the plan. Build relationships. Be charismatic. Be a good person. Don't stab people in the back. Don't do people wrong. And then when you put yourself in environments like that, when you're around other folks that are charismatic and good people and not doing people wrong and not stabbing people in the back, just work. Just have a plan and work. And when your plan takes a detour, just follow the detour and trust it and just keep working. And eventually you'll get to what that dream is or something that makes more sense than what you had planned originally. So have a plan, be a good person, and work hard with that plan.
Man, this is my guy, Mr. Coach Michael Underwood, bro. Tell the people where to find you again, bro.
Instagram, Michael B. Underwood. So it's MICHAELB Underwood. And my Instagram has a link tree to all of my YouTube and my website and everything like that. So y'all can navigate through there. So,
man, we appreciate you coming out, big bro. Yes, next week, we've got another expert on episode 9. Any last words for us?
No, y'all just stay blessed.
Let's get it. We will see you next week, and let's get it.
What's good, y'all? It's CJ Moss, the official host of the Game Podcast, where we give you free game for this game called Life through interviews, stories, and experiences. Because I can't lie to y'all, life can be hard and challenging without the proper information and wisdom. So we're going to have on entrepreneurs, athletes, business owners, experts of all fields, social media influencers, and just flat out great people with amazing stories. So tap in with us every Friday at 11 a.m. to get yourself some free game. Let's get it.